Before we get into it, gotta take a moment to thank today's sponsor, Bespoke Post. This is a monthly membership club delivering a box of awesome, top shelf goods from under the radar brands. It's free to join, and you can skip a month or cancel at any time. 90% of their products come from small brands, many of which are based right here in the US, like their Weekender bag. And yes, I did pick the green option. Gives me a classy look while I lug around my underwear and video games. I also got the Dulce box, which is a kit to make Mexican hot chocolate. It includes this chocolate whisk, a ceramic jug, and 2 mugs, and the hot chocolate discs themselves. And I can confirm, since I live with someone who grew up in Mexico City, that this stuff is all legit and good quality. This is the best hot chocolate I've ever had. Every month they have new stuff for their members, be it for the outdoors, cooking, for the bar, clothing, you name it. Basically, just high quality stuff in every category. Speaking of, they offer a new membership program which offers deals year round, knocking off 30% or more sometimes. It's completely free to join. You just fill out a preference quiz so they get a vibe for what you like, and you can preview what's in your box before it ships. So if you're not completely feeling it, you can swap it out for a different themed box or just straight up skip a month. You pay for what you want. You get a free mystery gift with your first membership purchase. Just click the link in the description and enter Game Gift at checkout, or go to bespokepost.com/gamegift. Thank you to Bespoke Post for supporting the channel, and let's get back to it. Welcome back to Sonic Speed Reading. We're now on issue 3 of 4 of the Fang miniseries. The Hoodlums have now come face to face with Dr. Eggman, who is all too curious about their quest for the 8th Emerald. And just like with Sonic and Knuckles, Fang once again describes what the Emerald could look like, sounding less and less confident each time. And I want to thank the commenters who pointed out the rainbow color is probably a reference to Sonic Blast. I played that game so many times for an upcoming video, and I still somehow blanked on that. So thanks, guys. In exchange for saving their lives and letting them keep their lives, Eggman wants them to track down his flying battle station, which he had sent out with his hard-boiled heavies, but for some reason, it's gone missing. Or at least, anytime Eggman tracks it on the scanners, it disappears without a trace. And the Heavy King has been dodgy in their calls, so something weird is going on. And if there is indeed an 8th Chaos Emerald out there, it might have some special unknown power that is causing these strange anomalies. If that's the case, the Hoodlums are to return the battle station and the Emerald to Eggman, and only then will they be square. Meanwhile, we turn our attention to Sonic and Tails in the Fox's workshop, where we get the cliched talking too smart so we need to dumb it down joke, in which Tails has basically put together a little machine that will track down this mystery ghost ship. While Tails goes to install it on the Tornado, Fang has his own means of figuring out where the ship is set to reappear. Eggman provided him all the data points he had gathered so far. From that, Fang has formed some theories. Considering the timing and locations, it seems like whatever is causing the ship to teleport needs to be recharged, and going by the pattern of appearances, it should be set to reappear right where the Hoodlums are. And Fang, despite his faults, shows off why he carries the title of Hunter, as his hunch is proven correct, as the battleship appears right before their eyes. The trio set off to the battleship, and we switch perspectives to see the Heavy King watch their approach, telling the crew to stand down. He's curious to see what Fang wants. The Hoodlums board, doing their best to stealth even though their presence was known long before they landed. I do love seeing these little sailor suits on the egg robos, that's cute. They make their way through the ship in a flying battery fashion. Every one of these classic stories takes a moment to give us some side-scrolling fun. It's very cute. Also, we can see the Heavy Shinobi keeping an eye on the Hoodlums as they trash their way to the glowing core of the ship. And this, my friends, is where we find out the true identity of the 8th Emerald. But not before a quick fight with the Heavy Rider, who defends the Emerald, right up until the Hoodlums get the upper hand and hold Jimmy the Motobug hostage. It's nice to see Jimmy get properly called out by name. It's a pretty common bit of trivia at this point, but for those of you who don't know, this Motobug is a tribute to Polygon Jim, a member of the Sonic hacking community who tragically passed away in 2013. Jim was the one to discover that unused Sky Chase Dragon in Sonic Adventure, and more famously made a ROM hack of Sonic 1, which had you play a Motobug instead of the Blue Hedgehog. Anyway, back to the comic. With the Rider now defeated, the Hoodlums shut down this mysterious engine, and the Emerald pops out into the hands of Fang. But as many of you might have guessed already at this point, that's no Emerald. it's a topaz. The warp topaz, to be precise, making its first official appearance in the classic era. And that has some very interesting implications, especially since we also learned that it got its name not later on from Starline, but potentially from Heavy King, who now makes his presence known as he arrives with the rest of the hard-boiled heavies, explaining that he gave this particular gem the name, well, Warp Topaz. And then the robot proceeds to tell us what we already know, or at least the longtime readers of IDW Sonic, telling Fang and the reader exactly how this gem works and how it plays into his dastardly plans. So apparently, on top of sending the heavies out to test out the battleship, which King now calls the Heavy Wing, Eggman also sent the bots out to hunt for powerful gems. While the Warp Topaz is capable of amazing teleporting abilities, it does not run on its own power like the emeralds. So on its own, technically, it is not a powerful gem. The hard-boiled heavies are robots. They do not operate on nuance, much like Sonic fans on Twitter. So with this logic loophole, the heavies have taken it upon themselves to test run not only the Heavy Wing, but the Warp Topaz as well. Eggman probably would have already begun attacking the instant he figured out how to use the Topaz, as we've seen him do time and again with his plots, including ones in the future which had the Topaz involved. But that's where HK differs. The robots have been testing the capabilities of this thing this whole time, and it sounds like they're nearly done with that and pretty satisfied with the results, and they're about ready to conquer all of Mobius. Sorry, I mean Earth. Had to stop myself from calling Fang his old Western name Knack a whole lot of times in these videos. Old habits die hard. And the issue ends with the hard-boiled heavies surrounding the hoodlums. After all, with them out of the way, there's nobody to report back to Eggman about the heavies' treachery. I wonder how that's all gonna play out. Better stick around for that final issue. And we will be getting back to it very shortly. I'm sorry for the extra speedy speed reading, especially since this chapter has the most interesting information thus far with the revelation of the Warp Topaz appearing in the classic era. And that did grab my interest, but also can't help but feel a little let down at the lack of an actual 8th emerald. Granted, I didn't truly expect to see one, and this is better than nothing. Certainly more than what I expected when I initially started off on this journey with Fang. So yeah, this reveal left me with some conflicting feelings, and we will break those down once we see how they wrap up Fang's story, and we will be covering that very soon, because yeah, I really want to get all this wrapped up, or should I say, warped up. Eh? Yeah? I think I'm going to make a Crash 3 reference in the final chapter. That sounds fun. Anyway, yeah, this is your last chance for anyone who's not caught up to get caught up for yourselves. And also, I'd really like to know what you guys feel about this reveal. Are you disappointed at the lack of an emerald? Were you surprised by the Warp Topaz? Were you just rolling your eyes and ready for its reveal this entire time? I have a feeling this is going to split some fans. Hopefully, we'll start some interesting conversation. As for my overall thoughts, well, I'll give them all to you next time. Before we head out, I have to thank the amazing folks who help support this channel. If you'd like to pitch in, I do have a Patreon link in the description. And to all my current patrons, I'd love to hear some feedback. I'd love to know what we can do to expand on Patreon itself, because yeah, it's time for Nick to get back on the horse and provide some fun extra content. And for those of you who'd rather do YouTube memberships, let me know about that. I've been kind of considering that. Regardless, if you're here at the end of the video, thank you so much. But I want to give an extra special thank you to these fine folks here: Kyle Winter, Cyrus the Skeptic, Joseph Duncan Sonic 2 Blue, Josh Strider, Casey the Jerboa, Trey Nobles, Hatsworth, Tiny Jericho, Ginger Bob, Jack of All Spades, Tristan Trap, Meekers, Dun Dun, Quote, Resident Fanboy, Miles the Prower, Singer J199, Sam Webster, Fish Flop, Lucas Lipker, The Bad Pal, Jonathan Dobbs, and congrats Jonathan. I'm so excited to see your handiwork in an upcoming IDW issue. Clover Chats, Chad, Hyper Mecha SP, Cecil the Glade, The Dark Neon, Stefan Plakanica, 3 Monic, Graham J. Hall, Lenny X, Wayne is Boss, Letteric, David 20 Covers, and remember, CG Forever, Kaylee Ann Williams, The Lumberjack, Trash Baphomet, Enerjack 5, Grayson Conager, Xerxes the Renegade Jin, Ken K, Ven 101, Paxton Bisbee, Sindarin 7. Why do you always make that harder to say, Steve? Also, everyone, give a huge round of applause to Stevie. How amazing has the thumbnail art been recently? That's all thanks to her. And holy cow, that new banner is simply incredible. I'm so unbelievably honored to have her in my life and helping me out with this incredible redesign. Absolutely amazing. Don't know what I'd be without you. Thank you so much, little Miss Benoy. Twilord. Oh no, I've used up all the helium. What am I meant to do now? Eric Delgado, Crimson Rose, Municent, Roxas the Cat, Godzilla, Makuta of Salt, Gleam the Anomaly, Alexander Watson, Neil Gampa, Conan Kudo, the Lex, the most powerful ship in the two universes, Kaido Prower, Spearmint, Duo the Cat, Penn Adelaide, Jamie Torres Jr., Daza S, the world's most unironic 8.5 tail stand, one more Sonic robot, a slightly evil robot, MT Mecha, Gob, the RSI, Radiant Starlight, OhGreatGames.com, and Sebensol the SS Sanjik Sailor. Ahoy, shipmates. I hope I said all that correctly, but hey, welcome aboard. Once again, guys, thank you so much for all of your support, and I'll catch you next time. Toot toot, Sonic Warriors.